Find air bubbles. There's a crack somewhere in the water jacket, and the head is junk. We've pressure checked the head. Everything's checking out good.
We are finally going to set this cab back down on the frame and get these heads put back on the LMM Duramax. So I just got back from Ryan's diesel service, and they were able to resurface these heads, as well as pressure check them and make sure they're good to go before we slam these things back on there. Now, of course, I do still have to deck the block, make sure everything's leveled, which I will be doing off camera. Guys, honestly, this isn't going to be a how-to video. I really want to get this done. I'm super excited to finally get this thing started up, and hopefully we could do that here in this video today. The biggest thing that I've noticed is that we use some cheap gas, well, not I, but when I purchased this truck, since it did have suspected blown head gaskets, to my surprise, when I pulled those heads, I noticed that we had some pretty cheap head gaskets under there. And from what Ryan told me, since they do this all the time, they said that 9 times out of 10, this would normally be the cause, because people cheap out on gaskets. I don't understand why. But what we're going to do is we're going to correct that problem and install some very nice Molle Grade C head gaskets for this truck, as well as a Merchant Automotive pump, which I'm super excited to put on as well. Who knows, that may have caused pressure too. It's just something, it's a peace of mind, it's right there. These water pumps are like a 12-hour job, but since I have the cab off the frame, which, you know, you don't have to do that, but in my case, since I have the big huge hoist, the Live Superstore hoist, I might as well go ahead and just go for it. While we're at it, I decided that we're gonna go ahead and install some nice Deviant Performance transmission cooler lines, because these lines are factory, as you guys can see there, and they're actually leaking. So, you know what, we're already there, we might as well do that. Another thing that was very concerning was my power steering lines. I actually ordered these from Ryan as well, from Ryan's diesel service. Big shout out to Ryan for all the help for hooking me up. I have all 3 power steering lines. They were leaking as well, so we're gonna go ahead and install that. I just opened the package of this company right here, Exotic Head Studs. I've heard some really good stuff. One thing about head studs really quick is if you don't already have them, it's a good thing to have because they add additional clamp load to the heads when you install these, so you don't have to worry about the additive pressure when you start upgrading your diesel engine. For example, a bigger turbo, bigger injectors, of course a lift pump, tunes, stuff like that. You're gonna add more pressure to these heads, and then lo and behold, you're gonna be puking out coolant all over the side of your block because you just blew your head gasket. So it's important that if you guys have a diesel, no matter what it is, Power Stroke, Duramax, or Cummins, that you guys highly consider head studs for your diesel engine. I know it's a mouthful, I know I'm talking a lot, but man, we have a lot to do and not a whole lot of time. I'm gonna be literally in here for hours upon hours tonight. I'm probably gonna be here till 2 in the morning. I'm gonna clean all of my parts, and we're gonna go ahead and slam this all back together, and Lord willing, everything turns out good. Hopefully we have no leaks, hopefully nothing blows up. I think we'll be fine. I think you're in good hands. Hey, if you're watching this and you wanna get an informational how-to video on how to do head studs, I will leave a link in the description. Myself, Ryan, and the team there, we actually did a full head stud job on an LOY Duramax. One more thing before I get to all of this stuff right here, I have 2 mystery HSP diesel giveaway gift bags that I'm gonna be adding to orders. It's gonna end this week only. It's gonna be all the way up to the end of this week. I left that link in the description below, so definitely hurry up, get your orders in. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get this thing going, man. All right, so let me show you how I prep the block before I install the head gaskets. Let me show you. No, I'm just kidding, I won't do that. Definitely something that I wanted to touch on. I'm pretty sure that people are gonna wonder how I'm actually prepping this block before I install those head gaskets. And as you can see, it looks pretty good so far. What I started doing, and this is just my method of doing it, I'm sure there's gonna be some people that are gonna be very upset on how I'm doing it, but this is something that's worked for me in the past. So what I like to use is a razor blade, okay? Something simple like that. Put it on a handle, but just for example, when I first start off, I like to knock off basically any sort of chunks. And I don't know if you can see anything because I already started doing this, but basically I want to go over the entire block and keep it as straight and as flat as possible. So that's sort of my method of doing that. I will then go to something like an 80 or a 100 grit sandpaper. And what I'd like to do is knock down basically anything that is high, okay? So we want to make this thing as flat as possible. Or then I'll jump to something like a 220. And if I feel like I should get a little more fancy, I may hit it up just very lightly with a 400 grit. But that's sort of my method of doing it. Of course, I want to make sure I brake clean everything. Now, there may be some cavitation on the actual head surface itself. I like to use a razor blade first just to get everything off of there before I actually start sanding it down. Some people use a sanding stone, which works great too. Honestly, I don't even care if it's dull looking after I'm done with it, just as long as that surface is flat. So that's my method of doing it. I figured I'd drop that in the video. Let me know in the comments, guys, what you think. I think we're all good to go. I just finished setting valve lash. Now that the hard part's done, I'm just gonna go ahead and replace like the water pump, you know, and all this extra stuff, put the valve covers back on there. Of course, get the cab set back down, and then we'll go ahead and get to firing this truck up, man. I'm so excited. Let's get to it. I did get a little crazy. I didn't video any of this, I know, but I just wanted to get it done. But I have everything installed. Check it out, guys. Brand new transcooler lines from Deviant. I have a brand new water pump right here. I did brand new power steering lines and a whole bunch of new stuff, you know. Since I'm already there, I might as well go ahead and just knock it out. But this kind of sucks. Let me show you this. I accidentally busted these. I don't know how. I think it was when I was installing things. Getting a little crazy. I knew this one was broken, but I broke the back one as well. So I need to replace those, but luckily I have some spare parts in the garage. I'll throw those on, no problem. But for now, guys, I just want to get the cab back on here, but it's looking good. I'm not exactly sure the brand, I'll show it to you, but these are polyurethane bushings. They're gonna last a really long time. I don't remember where I purchased these, but they're pretty cool. Okay, so we have everything all in there. This is the part that always makes me nervous no matter what I do. I gotta start this truck. But don't judge me, I'm actually gonna go ahead and just back it up a little bit from the garage because a guy that I know, he owned a diesel shop here locally. It just burnt to the ground. So, yeah, so let me go ahead and start this thing, but I'm probably gonna start it outside just in case, you never know. But I don't know. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and take the tractor, bring it up here, and then we'll go ahead and just pull it backwards in neutral, get it out of the garage. And I'll go ahead and see if I can get this thing fired up. So I'll get the wife to help me out too, so she can check everything when I start it. So let's get to it. Final moments. I have the tractor with the strap. Just move the Tahoe forward. Should we move the van?
Why? Is it gonna blow up? Goodness.
I'm paranoid from that shop that burnt down.
Oh yeah.
Okay, you know what? I'll just pull it all the way back to that tree and we'll fire it up. You ready?
Yeah.
Are you sure? Yeah. You're gonna watch for leaks for me.
Okay.
Wheel straight? Okay. Let's see what happens.
Put it in park. Oh, you got a wire hanging right there.
That's the parking cable. We don't need that.
You don't need the parking cable?
I still gotta hook it up. The essentials are done though. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get that lift pump going first.
You got it. So is it in park?
Oh yeah.
Gosh.
Yes.
Who am I dealing with, Earl?
Yes. I don't have a fuel filter anymore since I deleted it. If you can hear that humming noise, that's the AirDog 165. Sell them on the website actually if you guys want to purchase one. Shameless plug. Now I'm just getting the fuel to get up to the engine at this point right here. Like I said, I don't have a fuel primer bulb to manually bring the fuel up here, so I'm just gonna sit here and wait a little bit. I'm gonna cycle the key a couple times and let's see what happens. Luckily, the garage is heated. It's been sitting in the garage about 50 to 60 degrees, so it's not completely cold started. I'm gonna let it run for a little bit. Man, I'm excited. Whew. Wow.
Shock.
You're shocked?
Yeah.
Come on, man. We'll let it warm up, guys. Sounds good, though.
Still have that cable hanging.
It's all right. No worries. Want to move that tractor? Starting to smoothen out. Dude, I'm excited. We won't know until we drive it, but so far so good. No leaks. No leaks to detect. Whew, garage is a mess. Get that heat going. All right, guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and let that idle for probably about 20 minutes, honestly, and then I'm gonna go ahead and start making sure that there's no air bubbles in the cooling system, make sure everything's topped off. But it's kind of a good little self-satisfaction to know that we tore everything down and then put it all back together and it fired up. Yeah, weird, huh? No leaks.
Yeah, very weird. I was expecting something. Sorry, girl. But it's, well, I mean, did the Dodge, something was leaking there.
Yeah.
My truck, something was leaking there.
Usually they're transmission lines. Usually the trans lines are the first things to leak, I've noticed.
Yeah,
or
so I was
coolant.
just automatically not because you did anything wrong, just automatically expecting, you know, maybe something wasn't as tight as it should be.
No, I get you, I get you. Again, we're gonna let it sit for about 20 minutes. I'm gonna make sure everything's topped off. And then I'm gonna take it on a very small road test to make sure everything is good. But, you know, this is a long time coming. We bought this truck in January, I think it was, this year. January was a big month for us. 2021. Yeah.
Goodness, it's been like a year already?
Yeah, it's been a long time. It was about the same time last winter when I purchased this truck from Dylan. And you guys know the story. It's a Facebook Marketplace truck, and it had blown head gaskets. I was just too stubborn to believe it, so I just kept throwing parts at it to see if it'd work. It didn't work, so that's why I went ahead and just pulled the heads. And get back with you once the truck is warmed up, and we'll go ahead and take it on a test drive.
And hopefully nothing will leak there.
Come on! Just taking her easy. I'm at operating temp right now, but I just want to make sure that I'm driving it normally for now until we get her, you know, comfortable. I do have an engine light. I don't know what it is. I'll have to check that out. But so far, so good. No leaks. Been driving around for a while. All right, let's keep going. I'm gonna give it just a little bit, not too much. Dude, yeah, she's holding good. Powerful too. I just hit 30 pounds of boost. I didn't do that last time. All right, here's my injector balance rates. By the way, looks absolutely beautiful. You're looking at your injector balance rates, you're looking at anything within the spectrum of negative or +4. So ideally you want to be at that 0 mark. So if you're passing a number 4, like, so if you have like a 7 or an 8, it's a bad injector. Something's going on with it. I don't know what it means. So I'm within the spectrum of that. So it's looking really good, guys. I'm really happy with it. That engine light was lost communication with TCM. So I went ahead and cleared it and it did not come back. For some of you guys wondering how to check injector balance rates with just a simple scan tool, I'm actually going to do a YouTube video on that on my other YouTube channel. I'll leave that link in the description. It's called Truckmaster Garage. And a lot of the more in-depth informative videos that I do, I post on that channel. So make sure you guys subscribe. Also, make sure you follow me on Instagram. It's going to be at truck_master07. But I'm going to go ahead and close this video out today. I'm going to call it a success. Surprisingly, nothing leaked. I'm pretty happy about that. Nothing caught fire. Nothing blew up. But hey, that's it for this video. Make sure you guys subscribe. Make sure you guys continue to follow along as we continue to make more awesome content for you. We'll see you on the next one. Stay tuned.